Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today for a webinar on how to clean and prep your data with Zoho DataPrep. This is a getting started webinar for Zoho DataPrep. So if you have not used Zoho DataPrep before, or you're looking to understand how you can incorporate Zoho DataPrep with your existing system, then this is the best place to start. So today's webinar, I am Kritika. I am the product marketer for Zoho DataPrep. I'll be hosting the session. I have with me Alan. He is the product manager. He'll be running the demo for you in today's webinar. So the agenda for today's session is ideally understanding the importance of data, right? So we all run business here, and most of y'all are Zoho One customers, and I am sure you have some data issues that you are trying to fix, and that is why you're here. So we'll just touch base on, like, what is data and the need for data preparation. And then we will look into what is self-service data preparation tool. So if you look at it, 5 years ago, working on data was a very tedious task, right? But times have changed. We have technology that can simplify the end-to-end task. You really don't need data analyst, etc. So we'll be looking at it a bit in detail on what is self-service data preparation tool and how it can help you. Then we will see how data prep works, and then an in-depth demo. So I wanted to start with this particular statistics. Bad data cost the US economy over $3 trillion a year. So this is a powerful statistics, right? If you look at it, every business depends on data. And this is just one of such statistic. If you look at it, I did come across another statistic that says that in every single data mistake that you make, it can cost your company around $100 to fix it. So having a good set of data, right? Cleaning data that runs into your business system is extremely important. Understanding bad data. So bad data is like, this particular entire presentation, the demo, everything is going to revolve around more or less the CRM use cases. So these bad data are also primarily around CRM use case. All right. So duplicate data. So if you look at duplicate data, it is like when you have a one or two. So we run marketing in multiple mediums, right? When you are trying to get leads, you're running advertisement on LinkedIn, you are doing PPC ads, you have organic leads, etc. And people sign up through various places, and it kind of creates duplicate data into your CRM. Definitely it happens for the best of us, right? And how it affects your business. When you look at it, it might seem as just a duplicate data, but from a customer standpoint, when you kind of shoot out an email, they're going to receive more than one email. And it kind of annoys people, right? Right now, it's extremely noisy. When we open our inbox, there are multiple emails, and when we have same email sent multiple times, it tends to piss people off, right? It is going to affect your brand. Second is conflicting data. So what it means is that when you have, again, let's talk about SaaS products. Like, you are probably running your business using multiple SaaS products, and you collect customer data using your website, you collect customer data using external forms, etc. Sometimes different data gets collected and stored. And when customer makes any decisions or makes a purchase, there are possibilities of making a shipment to a wrong address, or calling a different number altogether, etc. When there is conflicting data, again, it is affecting your brand value. Third is incomplete data. I'm sure as a CRM user, you are facing incomplete data as a biggest challenge, right? Let's take an example as to you have a customer who's following up on a really big issue, right? And they are really pissed off with you, and that particular issue is not resolved. And imagine a particular salesperson from your team, like your brand, reach out to them for a cross sell, and automatically the person's reaction is going to be like, first solve the existing problem. So I'm sure this is a big problem that most CRM users, most business face. So without the complete history of the customer, when we kind of reach out to them, we are missing out an opportunity in building a loyal customer base. Next is invalid data. Again, this is another problem we face. When we collect data from multiple sources, we collect data in multiple formats. If you are working with CRM and you're trying to kind of manually enter data or upload data as a sheet, right? You would have faced this issue where there'll be a formatting issue and you're unable to upload the file. So all of these problems happen, and it happens every single day for us. Data silos is that where our system's not synced. Imagine you kind of go to an event and you collect leads. But what happens is that we don't immediately reach out to those leads, right? Because we take some time, like a couple of days, to go back and upload all of the data into our CRM, and then there is a 2-day delay. But what if your competitor kind of starts reaching out immediately? That's where you kind of lost sales opportunity happens with data silos. Then outdated or irrelevant data, again, this happens all the time. There are, like, based on your particular industry or business model, you can, like, certain business where even if you're reaching out to them after a month, right, it becomes irrelevant. There could be people who leave the organization. There could be a particular a prospect who has already bought another solution, right? And then when you kind of reach out to them, you're wasting money on your marketing resources. You're wasting money. You're wasting your salespeople's time. So all of that happens because of outdated data. So these are all bad data, and we come across them day in and day out. And especially as CRM users, these are all the issues. I'm sure one of these issues would definitely relate to you. So now coming into, so you understand, right? These are all the problems that we face. Now coming into, what is self-service data preparation? So earlier in the days, when we think of, data analysts, it is an intimidating profile, right? Not everyone can do it. It is a skill that needs, like, people kind of study for years to kind of gain that skill. Why? Is because what they do is they go in, like, data is not readily available for them. They need to mine for the data, and then they need to code it into a system, and then they'll have to spend hours trying to make sense of the data. This is how it has been for many years, right? Even 2-3 years before, data availability has always been an issue, right? That is why self-service data preparation came into play. And that is exactly what Zoho DataPrep does for you. Like, what Zoho DataPrep does is retrieve raw data, prepares it, and gets it ready for your next stage of processing. Like, you might be using Zoho Analytics, or you might want to back up your data in data warehouses. You might want to take your data and push it to other business applications, wherever. So DataPrep can help you consolidate all of those data and prepare it, kind of fix all of those issues. And when you kind of take the data out, it is going to be actionable data. It is not going to be a raw data anymore. And you don't require the skills that data analysts used to have. And how this works is that now we have the liberty, like, because you are using SaaS products and other tools where data exports happen, right? You easily have access to those raw data. It is not like that, like, 5 years back, where all of the data is stored in the local server, etc. Now you have access to the raw data. What are we doing with the raw data, right? That is the problem. So a Zoho DataPrep can help you solve that. We can process the raw data for you and then prepare it and then send it out so that you can make better sense of the data. All right, so how data prep works. So we have a bunch of data sources that we directly integrate with. We integrate with CRM, Creator, Analytics, Zoho Work Drive, and Google Drives, and other external warehouses. All right. And what we do is we collect data from the sources, and then in our data prep studio, soon you'll be looking at it in our demo, you can discover different kinds of data over there, and you can easily clean it. When you look into our data studio, It's all one click. There is no coding. All right. We also have a chat GPT integration that can solve, basically give you out your formulas for you. You don't have to break your head. You don't have to do multiple Google searches to come up with your formulas. So all of your data processing is simplified using our data studio, and you can transform, segment, enrich, uh, and all of that within the studio. And once you're happy with your data, are going to send it back to our destination. And again, destination could be a business app, could be analytics. So what happens is that if you are already using analytics or any of the other product, when you send raw data directly into analytics, the data is not clean, right? The insights that you collect might be right, but when you think of it, you have multiple duplicate leads, you have invalid data. So you're not sending the right information into your analytics to get the actual insights. So that is where Zoho DataPrep works. So if you are already using analytics, I would suggest that you run your data via DataPrep and then you run it to analytics. You will see the actual difference in your end result. So now I am going to transfer control to Alan. Just 1 second.
Hi everyone. Let's get started with the demo. I hope everyone can hear me. Let me start by sharing my screen. Okay. Okay. I hope everyone can hear me and see my screen. Okay, great. So let's get started with the data prep demo, right? So this is the data prep's homepage, right? So where we organize different projects and data, data projects into different workspaces. So each workspace can have a specific project that you might want to prepare data with, right? And when you want to import data into the system, you can import it from a variety of different sources. So so in this screen, you can see where all you can import data from. So you can import from files, you can import from cloud storage solutions like Google Drive, OneDrive, and so on. You can import from local and cloud databases. You can also import data from Zoho applications like Zoho Analytics, Zoho CRM, Zoho Creator, etc. So for the sake of time, I've already imported the data into one of the workspaces, which we are going to start with, right? So this is the list of datasets that have been imported. Let me just quickly, talk about the datasets that we are going to work with today. So here I have two sets of leads that I have imported from different places. One is from a web form that I host on my website, gives me leads from all over the world. Another is from an event organizer who we went to a recent event in India, and we've collected some leads from that event. Right, Tech Disrupt event leads is there, and we also have other data sets that we can come back to a little bit later. So once we import data into the dataset, into DataPrep, right? So we can see an immediate analysis of its data quality. You can quickly see which datasets requires your attention first, and then jump into it and fix that, right? And you can also tag different datasets using these tags available, so that you can easily find your dataset among a list of variety of different datasets, right? So let's jump into this, which seems to have the most amount of problems. So once we open a particular data set, it gets opened in what we call Data Prep Studio, right? So in this Data Prep Studio, I just want to call attention to the overall data quality chart. So here it shows me how much data in this data set is valid, how much is invalid, how much is missing, right? So this data set is pretty good. It has 2.4, only about 2.5% of invalid data, and unusually high amount of missing data. So we'll come to fix that, right? So first, we'll have to fix the invalid data. So this is what we call as the data cleansing process, right? To identify where invalid data is, we have this data quality bar on top of each column. So it will show you how much invalid data is at a quick glance. So we can just scroll through and identify which columns have the invalid data. Here I can see this email opt-out column has some invalid data, as well as this email column, right? So let's begin by fixing the problems in the email column. Here I can see that the email is good, but there is some space here which causes the problem, right? So we make it easy to identify spaces by using this blue dots, right? Instead of you searching for the space, we can easily find that out. So all I have to do to fix it is just select that space, right? And as soon as I select it, DataPrep offers a variety of suggestions on the right about what you want to do with the selections that you just made. So do you want to split based on that selection? Do you want to replace the selection with something? Do you want to count the selection, or you want to extract it into a new column? So here I want to replace it with nothing, right? So I don't want the space anymore. That will make this email valid again, right? So I'm just going to choose the suggestion that is provided for me, and I'm going to click apply here. Before I click apply, I want to call attention to this particular green column, right? This is what we call live preview. So whenever you are trying to make a change to the column, it will show you a live preview here, which makes it easier for you to understand what is going to change and what is going to stay the same. So let me click apply and change this particular column. So now I fixed some of the problems with this email column, but not everything is fixed. So what I can also do with this data quality bar is click on this red section or green section to filter the valid or invalid data. So here I have just filtered the invalid values in the email column. So these values don't seem to be easily fixable, and they are pretty much junk values. So we don't, and they don't even have phone numbers or company information. So we can easily reject these leads from our system, so we don't waste our time with this. So I can choose one of the suggestions given here. So delete filtered rows to remove these invalid emails from my leads list. So just like that, I fixed all the problems with the email column. So let's shift our attention to the email opt-out column, which also has some invalid values. I can quickly see here that this is a Boolean column, but it has some values other than false or true, right? So here some no data is available, which is causing this column to have some invalid values. So again, I want to do the same text selection, which is going to select similar data from across the column, and it is giving me a different sort of suggestions now. Before it was giving me split, now it's asking me whether I want to extract this into a new column. No, again, I just want this to go away, right? So I want to use the replace transform or suggestion here to kind of remove all these from this column, right? So as you can see in the preview, live preview again, it is removed by applying this transform. So let me click apply to remove the invalid data from this column. So just like that, we fixed pretty much all the invalid data from this particular data set. These are simple problems that you can easily fix using just point and click solutions. You don't have to right click, go into find and replace and all that. Just by selecting the text, it makes it easier for you to achieve what you do, right? And that's not the only way to perform transformations. So let's say you want to perform the find and replace through a normal approach, you can just right click on a column, and all of the different transformations that are available to you are listed here, right? So another thing that I want to call attention to is the histogram, right, or the data distribution analysis. So this is what you see on top of each column, right? So different data distribution charts are available for each of the column. So here in this lead status, you can quickly see how many types of statuses are available. And when you click on a particular column, it gives you a much more detailed histogram. So here you can see potential is repeated 10 times, contacted is repeated 6 times, so on and so forth. You can also see suggestions related to that particular column about various transformations that you can apply. You can also go into show more details, where you can also see additional information, such as the different text length based statistics, the histogram again, if there are any outliers based on the text length, what are the different patterns that are available in the data, and the column wise data quality, as well as the summary of the column that we just saw outside, right? So you can use this to filter the data. You can quickly edit values right here without going into find and replace or any other transformation. Makes it easy to quickly edit inline, right? So now that we fixed these data quality issues, let's now jump into transforming the data, right? So I want to jump to this phone number column, right? So it has different formats here. So I don't want all of these in different formats. So I just want them to be in a single format that is easy to be imported into CRM. So I'm going to use this AI powered transformation called transform by example, wherein I will just give it an example of the output 6610 and press enter, right? So it understands what I wanted out of data prep, and it creates a formula for me to transform the input into this output, right? And it even replace the brackets into replace the brackets out of this particular data. So this is the formula that has been generated. It is not a black box, and it's showing me what it does to actually achieve this. And we can also see the live preview applied over the entire data set. So now we can apply this to create the decluttered phone number field, right? So once we've created this formatted phone number field, I want to add a country code to this, right? So very simply, I can just add a country code by going into the right clicking the column, adding a prefix, and here, since this is an event conducted in India, I'm just going to add the India's country code here, right? So just a prefix, and again, call attention to the live preview. Makes it easy for you to immediately see what's the result going to be, right? And we fixed the phone number field here, right? So now we fixed the phone number field, we fixed the email field. Now let's kind of clean up the data set and make it ready to be merged with the other data set, right? So here I don't want the lead ID anymore because this is going to be inserted into CRM. Our lead ID will be generated there. I don't want all of these empty columns, which contribute to a lot of missing data percentage, right? I don't want that. Since we created a formatted phone column, I also don't want the existing phone field, right? So I'll remove all that. As soon as I select these columns, it is also giving me a variety of suggestions about what I want to do. Here, I'm just going to delete all these columns. So I have pretty much cleaned this particular data sets. I have transformed the data that I wanted to. Now let me, jump into the rule set area, right? So here, whatever transforms that I did so far gets recorded into what we call as the rule set. So I did a replace in the beginning to fix the email values. I filtered the unwanted emails from my list. I replaced uh, in the email opt-out column. I fixed the no values, no data value away from it. I reformatted the phone column. I added a country code prefix, and I deleted some unwanted values. So each of this gets recorded. I can jump back to it anytime and see how the data looked at that particular point. You have unlimited undo and redo here, so you can always revert to any point in time. And this is not just in session. You can always come back to this data set after days and still be able to do all of this undo and redo shit, right? So once we have created this rule set, another important aspect of it is you can save this as a template, right? So we have a similar data set. So let me just save this. You can also apply this on top of any other data set that has similar data structure. You can also go in and edit different rules, reorder these rules. You have a lot more control over how these rules are applied, right? So let's jump into the other data set that is there, right? So other leads data set that I have is from the web forms, right? So I can jump into that data now. I can see it has similar sort of problems, the space, I think the no data as well. So let's import the template here and see if that works, right? So I'm going to import the rule set here, and it automatically picks the latest created rule set template, and I'm going to import it here. So once I click import, it will probably take a couple minutes to import all of these rules, and apply all of the transformations that we did on the other data set to this particular data, right? And it's just done. So we have all this data transformed. But if you go back and see, that phone number field that we have in this particular data set already has, the country code prefix. So we don't want to append this 91, and it is also incorrect because that was meant to be added to the India data, right? So here we can remove this rule, but what I want to do is just go in and edit it. I have the same rule here. I don't want this plus 91, but I just want the plus, right? So because the plus got removed while formatting the uh, phone number field, right? So I'll just click apply to kind of re-add the plus back into the formatted phone field. So now we've cleaned both data sets. So let's, once we've cleaned both data sets, the next step is to kind of merge them together, right? So we'll make it into a single list. So to do that, let's go into this dataset wide transforms menu, go into combine, and then click on join or append, right? So append is basically a SQL union. We are going to join this particular web form leads with the check disrupt event leads, right? So I'm going to click append. It automatically matches the columns based on their names. If there are any unmatched columns, it will get listed here. Since we have column names matching completely, so we have it automatically mapped, right? So let's just name this combined leads and click on append to kind of merge these two data sets together. So what happens now, it creates a new child data set, which to which data flows from both these parent data sets. So whenever you refresh the data on either parent dataset, the data gets automatically flowed into the child dataset when you try to export it, right? So we had no data quality issues on both parent datasets, but now in this, output data, we see some invalid, much more than what we originally saw in both of these datasets. So let's just look deeper into what happened here. So this is a typical problem, right? So we have data from two different sources, and the date format is completely different. So to solve these kinds of problems, we have a transform called unify date formats. So it analyzes all the different date formats available in this column, and it suggests to combine them into a single column again, single format. I mean, so I don't want the hours, minutes, seconds period here. Let's just stick with a day, month, and year, which is good enough because I'm just going to do the collected rate, right? So this should be good enough. And I have merged all these into a single format. Again, call attention to the live preview here. Whatever complex transform it may be, we will have a preview before we can apply the transform. And just like that, we fixed the data quality issue in this combined leads as well. So once we unify these two data sets, another problem arises. There might be duplicates created because of this. A potential could have come to the event as well as registered them through the web form, right? So I don't want any duplicates to be in my data set. So I want to, deduplicate this. So I'm going to select this email column, go into transform again, select the deduplicate column wise. I want to select duplicates based on the email column. Let me click preview to see if there are any duplicates in this combined leads list, right? So it analyzes based on the email column, and it is showing me that there are 3 duplicates, right? So, and it is also, highlighting the leads that are marked for renewal. So it is picked two, one of the two leads to be removed. This is based on automatic deduplicate condition. You can also set your own conditions where you can choose like the collected date is the latest. So keep the row lead that was collected the latest, right? So you can, set your own conditions like that, or you can just set it to automatic where it will just pick one at random. So I'm just going to remove duplicates from my dataset using the automatic deduplicate condition, and we've successfully removed, duplicates from our dataset, right? So once we've kind of fixed the problems with this combined list, now what I want to do is enrich this particular data set, right? So before I send it to CRM, I want to have more information about leads. So I want to enrich the company column with information like, company size, employee count, annual revenue, things like that. So this is something that I have in my company details dataset that I've already imported, right? This is from a data vendor from whom I have purchased this dataset, right? So this company name, this location, this website information, this employee count, revenue in millions, and the industry, right? So I want to combine this into my combined leads list and enrich this particular dataset. So to do that, I'm going to go into transform again, but instead of append, I'm going to do a join. So here I'm joining with the company details. I'm going to do a left join so that I'm enriching the data. But if the data company details are not available in my external data set, it won't remove any leads from my list, right? So I click on join. Let's just call the output enriched leads, and I'm going to join it based on the company name, right? So we can see that there is a 90% overlap here, and almost 90% of the company names will get enriched. So let's just click on preview here again to see how the output will look before we actually apply this transform. So let me just zoom back out. So here we can see the company name gets matched with the company name of the external data set. I don't want the company name to get repeated, so I'll just uncheck that particular column. So you can do these sorts of things on the fly when you're applying the join transform. So I click on join to actually apply the join and create a new child dataset from this combined leads, and merging with the external data, and thus enriching it. So this has just gotten created. So let's open that out. So here, this is the final enriched data set that I want to export to CRM. But before I export to CRM, I want to do a couple of transforms to even add more information to this data set. So based on the employee count, I want to make sure segment this particular data set. To do that, I'm going to use another AI transform using the formula generator, right? So here we have this chat GPT based integration where you can just talk about the formula logic, and it will automatically generate the formula that's needed to transform this column. So this is one of the prompts. I want the company size to be segmented based on the employee count, with less than 100 employees as small, 100 to 500 employees as medium, and more than 500 as large. This is just an arbitrary segmentation that I've come up with. You can pretty much use whatever conditions that you want. I'm clicking on generate so that it generates a formula to kind of calculate this. So it generated a formula here, and I'm going to apply to make sure that this particular column gets created in my dataset. So sure enough, it got created. I can see the classifications are proper. So now I've kind of enriched this data once again with this segmentation, right? And lastly, I want to fill this email upload column because I don't want these columns to be empty, right? So let me just click that, choose one of the suggestions from here to fill empty cells in this column. I can choose from a variety of different options like previous cell value, next cell, most frequent. These are really useful in numeric columns, but here I just want to fill it with a false, right? Since the user hasn't really opted out, I just want to keep that as false so that they can opt out later when we send out our emails, right? So I'm just going to keep that as false as default, and then click apply to kind of fill in this column, columns empty values. So at this juncture, we've enriched the data, we've combined data from two different sources, we formatted it the way that we wanted to, and then we are ready to export this to our destination. So here, when we try to export this to our destination, there are a couple of options here. You can do a manual export, or you can also set this up as a scheduled export where we set this end-to-end data pipeline to run on a periodic basis, right? So you can set up your import as well as export schedules to run every day, every hour, every week. So whatever frequency that you desire, you can use that to run, right? So here, let me just show what are the options that are available. So here you can go into new schedules. So you can do hourly, daily, weekly schedules. When you click on next, you have all these different data destinations that you can export to. Here we can export to CRM, creative analytics, or any data warehouses or storage solutions. So since this is leads information, I want to export it to CRM. I'm choosing an organization here. I'm exporting to the leads module. Since this is all new information, I'm going to add only the new records here. I don't, if I had imported from CRM, I can also make changes and update the information back into CRM again using, update existing records option. And I can avoid duplicates when syncing into CRM by choosing match based on field. Even while inserting, if the email ID already exists in CRM, that lead won't get inserted, right? So I can choose all of these options, so I have granular control over how I can export data into the CRM system. So not just scheduling export or import, right? So you can also classify data sets about what it is meant for and how it's meant to be used in your organization. So enrich leads is the data set that we want to export. So I'm just going to mark that as ready to use. So others in my organization know which data is prepared and ready. So I can also add tags to it. Let's just say output or something like that, right? So whatever tag that you prefer, you can just add tags to that so that you can later filter data sets based on different tags that are applied to different data sets. So this kind of brings us to the end of the CRM use case demo, right? We've imported from different sources like OneDrive, or it can be an Excel sheet from the event vendor. We've combined, cleaned up the data. We've combined the data together. We've enriched the data with external data source, and then we've also synced that data back to CRM, right? So this is a typical flow that can be possible, and it's one of the examples that are available. I also want to showcase another quick example where we analyze data, where we clean up data for analysis, right? So this is a product feedback data set. Here I have it's a very simple data set. I have user information, email, overall satisfaction rates, survey results basically, and these are all easy to quantify. But I have this feedback column, right? So this is a text column. I have to go into it, read one by one to understand what each problem is. It's not really easy to quantify or analyze. So what I want to do is make sure most of the feedback is positive, or I want to find out whether that's positive or negative, right? So I can use this sentiment analysis transform to kind of understand the sentiment that is expressed in this feedback column, right? So let me just quickly refresh. So trigger this again, sentiment analysis. Yeah. So all I have to do is just give the name. It's a pre-built model, so it'll just apply a regular pre-trained sentiment analysis model over this particular data and give me results in terms of positive, negative, or neutral sentiments. Right. So here it has created that particular data in this new column. Right. So what's more is I don't want to just know what is positive or negative. I also want to know what specifically users are talking about in terms of keywords, right? When they are talking about the product in a negative manner or even in a positive manner. So I want to pinpoint or prioritize issues based on what are the key aspects of the product that they are talking about. So here I'm going to just select export it as keywords. I'm going to click apply so that I can extract some keywords out of this feedback column. So I'm extracting multiple keywords here. So I can also, since this is an array, I can, flatten this out, extract this list out into a particular, into different rows. I'm just going to call that the keyword and apply. So now this, data set is analyzed. I have quantified the data into positive and negative sentiments. And I have also, gotten a variety of different keywords that the users are talking about. I can now export this data back into analytics and see what the users are talking about. So this is one such chart where I can see based on the negative or positive sentiment. So in the positive sentiment, people are talking about how the user interface is great, how the permission management is good, how the analytics dashboard is great, and generically solid product and all that. And when it comes to negative sentiment, I can clearly point the blame at the customer service experience and prioritize whom to talk to and how to fix these issues. Instead of pouring over reviews, thousands of reviews, and hard to quantify them, hard to prioritize the problems that you want to address first. This makes it easier for you to quantify different issues, different concepts in a textual data, and make it easier for you to understand and analyze, right? So that brings us to the end of the demo part. Hope it was informational. So let me just jump back into the webinar screen and let me stop sharing my screen. Now we are able to take some question. I think Pritika can take over. Stop sharing. Yeah.
Hi. So we have had a few questions. One was instead of scheduling, could you trigger? Let me see if I can project. Okay, I'm not able to project the question. For instance, Sky had asked this question instead of scheduling. Okay, I think you are the thing. For instance, if a data updates on FTP server, does the data process runs? For now, we only have schedules, but as Sri Krishna has answered, we are working on integrating with Zoho Flow. I think in another next release, maybe in a couple of months, we will be able to do that. As and when your FTP server runs, you will be able to push data. That is possible. And another question that came on chat is that can data prep be set up to carry out automated process? Yes, automation can be set up, but again, it will run on schedule basis. You can schedule to run every hour. Up to that level, the automation can be set up. Stephen has a question. Okay. Will you send available? Yes, we will be sending the recording out on Monday. Monday max, we will definitely be sending it out to all the registrants. Okay, Dave asks a question. Is there a built-in feature in Zoho application set to enrich company information, or would we need to contact? We don't have a built-in application with Zoho. So there are web crawlers like Zoom Info, only they can help. But we do have an integration with ChatGPT. What it can does is it can generate basic, simple data sets for you. Like you can ask ChatGPT to create a data set with the PIN code and associated cities, etc. So that is possible. But like you said, company information and other things could, you'd have to probably work with third party. Okay, purchasing unit. I'm not sure of your name, but for the standard data set, you can definitely use the ChatGPT integration. It can help you with that. There is a feature like if you go into sources inside Zoho apps, you will have the ChatGPT, the OpenAI integration there. Over there, you can generate those data set. Okay.
So Dave again asks, is that ChatGPT integration you mentioned part of DataPrep, right? So ChatGPT integration is part of DataPrep and it is available for all editions, all paid editions. It is bring your own key model where you'll have to have your own ChatGPT subscription. and you can then enter that key into DataPrep so that whatever data that you expose to ChatGPT is to your account and not a common account, and no data leaks take place. Yeah, so we don't share any data with ChatGPT. The question again is, if I upload a list of customers, then the model will have that data? No. So we don't send any customer information or any uploaded data to ChatGPT as part of the security and privacy policy. So only the prompt that you give to generate the formulas will get sent to ChatGPT. And when you're using the transform by example feature, we will send the example that you provide along with the original column's value, not the entire column, will get sent. Yeah, Ruth asks, will there be a more advanced data prep webinar? Yes. Yes, this is the basic webinar that we planned for more wide audience. We are planning for an advanced data preparation workshop or a webinar like that. We will let you know about the dates very soon.
There is one more question, two more questions.
Yeah.
Question is field. Am I correct that when we move new leads from DataPrep into CRM, that it will catch duplicates?
Yeah. So David asks, am I correct that when we move new leads from DataPrep into CRM, that it will create duplicates, right? So you can do deduplicate before you send it to CRM, and when you actually export to, that only finds duplicates with the data that you have with DataPrep, right? But if you already have one of the leads inside CRM and you don't want to introduce any duplicate during the sync process, you have the option to skip that record using the option called match based on field. So if you choose the email column, if that email ID already exists in CRM and you're trying to export it to CRM, then that record will not get inserted into CRM, so thus avoiding duplicates.
Okay. Thank you, Alan. We have one more. To group the data into various subcategories.
Yeah, so we are working on enhancing our machine learning models support. So currently we have keyword extraction, we have sentiment analysis, and language detection. We are working on features to classify data better. We are working on features to find anomalies. So those are features that we have in our works. So we are also considering k-means and other classification algorithms. So that is coming in our roadmap.
Another question. Is there a way for AI to find hidden patterns in the data?
Yes. So we have what we call as a pattern analyzer, right? This might not be patterns with respect to trends or numerical patterns, but patterns based on textual information, right? So when you have a lot of text information, you can classify text based on the text pattern that it has. But for a numerical analysis or statistical analysis and finding outliers, for that will be part of Zoho analytics, right? So that is where we'll have kind of expand our anomaly detection, as well as the way that you can do what if analysis, the way you can find hidden patterns with the data. So analytics is the place to watch out for that kind of use cases.
Okay.
Let me just.
If you have any more questions, you can ask. We'll be open for another couple of minutes. In the meantime, thank you all for joining us. If you want to learn more about data prep, you can visit our website. You can just click on the link. If you have any questions, you want to reach out to us, you can write to us to marketing@zohodataprep.com. And you can also follow us on LinkedIn. We will be putting out our information about our webinars on LinkedIn. You can also watch our space for that. Okay. Also, we would like to run this poll. Do you actually spend time, fixing data using Excel sheets or any form of manual data fixing? Does anyone from your team? Wow, it's like, yes, results are shown to everyone. We have like a lot of people who actually spend time fixing data. I mean, this is a problem that most businesses face, and definitely Zoho Data Prep can help. Like once you fix the issues, like as Alan showed you, you can set up automation, set up all of those rule sets that could be saved as a template and repeated on multiple sets of data, right? All of this can be fixed very easily. We hope that you log into Zoho Data Prep and try using the product. It would mean the world to us. And do write to us about the use cases. Do let us know how valuable you felt the Zoho Data Prep is for you. It will definitely help save your time. For worse come worse, it can definitely help you fix all of those data issues for you. We also have give personalized demo. You can click and sign up and talk to one of us if you have any specific use cases. All of these links are clickable. Do feel free. And thank you all for joining us. I think we have a couple of more questions, Alan. We are drowning in manual. Okay, drowning in manual data methodologies. This was great. Thanks for hosting. Thank you so much. Yes, that is what we are trying to fix with Zoho Data Prep, and it's so nice to get this validation from you all, because this is something, again, we are working for Zoho Data Prep, and this is another assumption for us. Talking to customers like you, we feel really happy to know we are able to help you in any way possible. Thank you all for joining us. If there are no more questions, we will close the session, but do stay in touch. Do write to us. If you have any questions, do raise a demo request. Thank you.